Ashley Versher stars in the new Tyler Perry movie Straw, which is the number one globally on Netflix, number one movie globally on Netflix. Ashley plays bank teller Tessa George, who encounters a traumatic situation with single mom Janiyah, played by Taraji P. Henson. Ashley is joining us today. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. First of all, going back to the number one movie globally, can we just celebrate that for a moment? Can we just give it a hand clap? Yes, 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 yes. Congratulations to Tyler Perry and the entire cast. What a wonderful feat.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's so it's just amazing. It's just
Yeah,
amazing.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, love it, love it. Yes.
All right, Ashley, let's jump right into it. Your character's emotion seems to teeter on fear and judgment when she encounters Janiyah at the bank. How would you describe your character Tessa in the movie?
I think it's very interesting. I think something that people have taken away from the movie, which I think is incredibly important to take away, is that everybody is going through something. And we get to witness what Tessa goes through along with everyone else who's in the bank. But maybe we don't think so much about maybe what she's going through. Um, uh, but maybe that's more my job. I think for me, I really like to look at her as, a person who's going through this. Like, I think if anyone was in that situation, it would be terrifying, terrifying to have someone pull a gun on you, terrifying to, um, a lot of times we find our workplaces to be safe spaces for us, right? For that space to turn into like danger zone. Um, and I think, Sherry's character, Tessa leans on her a lot throughout the story. But there's some disconnects, as we obviously see, in terms of what Tessa thinks should be happening, how things should be handled. So I think it was my job to tell the story from that viewpoint, and I think that also allows the audience to lean in further and to feel even a deeper sense of empathy for Janiyah Taraji's character. You need all of those balances. Even I think everyone in the bank really sort of balances it out so that you're really consumed by her experience and you feel so deeply for her. So I think it's important that she's like comes off the way she comes off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I almost feel like everybody that was in the bank kind of saw Janiyah's character through their own lenses. So when you spoke about, balancing everybody's emotions because you had like the seasoned people that were there. Don't want to give too much away in case somebody else didn't see the movie, but since it's number one globally, we all should have saw the movie. But I think everybody kind of saw it through different lenses. But Ashley, you work with a talented cast, of course, led by Taraji, who filmed her award-worthy performance in 4 days. In what ways did the two of you connect?
I think you don't have a lot of time, as you just said. So I think the connection really starts with showing up and feeling really confident and prepared. And I think that was for me. Obviously Taraji is just phenomenal and just like someone to aspire to. She's just incredible. So I think for me that connection started with coming and feeling really really grounded, and then feeding off of her energy, feeding off what she brings to the character, which was incredibly fun. Acting is a form of play, even
Yeah,
though this
it,
is a very serious film about some very real and serious issues. So I think she gives a lot of that energy off on set, so which is exciting and was unexpected. It was my first time working with her, so I didn't know. But I really enjoyed that. It made me look up to her even more so than I already had, if possible.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think really just through the story and through the deep passion for acting and through the care and really wanting to tell this story to the best of our abilities, to do these individuals justice. These are all real people that exist in the world, and it's our job to shine light on their experiences.
Yes. Plenty of Janiyahs in the world, most definitely. And what about Tiana Taylor and Sherry Shepherd? What was your interaction with those two?
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen the film. It's not you, but others.
Yeah.
I don't have too much with Tiana Taylor. She's just fabulous. You know, she's just an artist, and I admire that. She's very
Talented.
kind, very kind. Sherry was just lovely. I think there was a moment where she we were shooting something, and she grabbed my hand in the middle of the scene, and I love when those things happen because I find that those small, tiny. Uh, very I like to say pedestrian physical context, and sometimes they can just drop you into something even deeper. Um, so I really I appreciated her for that. I don't even think she knows that. But I really appreciated that moment. I'll never forget it. She was just delightful and inspiring in terms just in terms of like her career and what she's been able to achieve and I learned so much more about her than I didn't know. Yeah.
Well, I love hearing those stories.
Yeah.
And definitely she'll know soon enough. Beautiful.
Now, Ashley, what do you say to streaming audiences who think this is another struggle movie about Black women? And what is it about this film that changes that narrative?
That's a big question.
Mm,
I don't like to tell people what to think
yeah.
in general. Um, yeah, although my nephew might differ in that opinion. That's my job though. But I think in general in life it is really helpful and productive to approach things with a great sense of curiosity. And if we can stand in that, a lot of times that tends to be uncomfortable, I think. But it's something that is really important to me and something that I try to do. So I think if you come to this film with that sense of curiosity, if you come to this film wondering why the story is told the way that it is told, why these varying things happen, why other people feel so deeply moved by the story. Maybe if we look at it like that, that will give us a lot of information. I think that as people have said, a lot of our stories as Black people have been in a state of erasure, which is just like crazy and just awful and can be sad. So I feel empowered to be a part of a story that's expressing things that people who look like me experience.
Yeah.
And also the stories is for everyone because it's not a singular experience. Like it's people are experiencing great sense of loneliness. People are experiencing lack of friendship, lack of family, lack of togetherness. Like belonging is a basic human need. And I think if you watch the film, you can see that she doesn't feel like she belongs anywhere, which is why it goes so horribly. Um, so that's what I have to offer in regards to that answer.
Yeah, because as you mentioned, it seems like, of course, her character is always expecting. It's almost that expectation of something happening because it does on a regular basis is what I got watching the movie. But since it does center on mental health, uh, how do you check in for yourself? And then what about those strong friends that we always hear that we need to check on?
Yeah. I have a personal struggle with the word strong. It's very connected to the strong Black woman ideology. So I don't know how helpful that word is for me. I
Yeah,
know for some people it is.
yeah,
I like to think powerful is a great word.
yeah,
Um, you
yeah.
know, but to answer your question, it's hard. I think I've learned so much about this recently in my own life. It's really hard to be vulnerable um, with each other and to, so a lot of times too, our friendships have been established years ago, right? And so the state of which that friendship was established has a lot to do, and I think has a strong effect on how that friendship lives and breathes over time. And it's hard to morph that, some people say like tragedy and trauma are the only things that truly change people, which is sad. It may be morbid. But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, but I think that it's I've been on my own quest for vulnerability and trying to sit in the discomfort of sharing that with the people who are very close to me. Um and I think that's what I can do. And I think the more that I do that, the more it seems to me that the people around me seem to still feel more and more comfortable to do that. There's so much, I think that we people in general just experience so much judgment. We judge people every day, all day, every step of the day. So I think when it comes to like sharing, like you having a hard time or being in a tough spot or something traumatic happening, it's really it's just really difficult. It feels like everything's sort of against you in that moment. But maybe our own journey into vulnerability, our own journey into openness, and honesty about our experiences with the people that it is important that you feel safe with those people you're sharing with. But maybe that's what helps, and that's what I have sort of seen to help.
I like that, and I like that. Yeah, I like that, and thinking about it, yeah, taking away the strong and just then checking in on your friends.
Yeah.
It does sound like it takes less pressure off of having to always show up in that manner. So powerful, yeah, we'll definitely have to use that one. Yeah.
Right. Straw is a thriller, Ashley, and a lot of dark moments in the film. Um, which actor on set made everyone laugh? Now, I have my theory before you answer. The obvious Sherry Shepherd, because she's a comedian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something's pulling me towards Taraji. Would you answer
I would say Taraji. Yeah, I would say Taraji. She was so locked in,
Yeah.
and that was really cool. I would say Taraji, like she's hilarious. Like
Yeah.
she's very funny. I would just love to see her in more and more comedies. She's just so funny, and her sense of play is just so on the surface, and it's a little intoxicating,
Mhm.
So and everybody's different. So however you work as an actor is how you work. So sometimes you could be like, oh God, I gotta step over here because she's making me laugh, and then we gotta go back and do this scene.
Right.
But she's an incredible light.
Yeah, we love her young energy. She's just, yeah, she's a gem.
Yeah.
She's
Never
living.
met
She's
her.
living life.
Yeah, never met
Yeah.
her, but she's always been that girlfriend, that friend, that sister in my head. So
Yeah, I know she's deemed like the auntie now.
yes, which I saw in a previous interview, I think with Angie Martinez or something. She doesn't mind the word
Nope.
honey. So
No,
she,
she
she
doesn't.
said
Yeah.
she's all for it. To her, it's a sign of respect. So hey,
Mhm.
the film's ending was a surprise for many who watched. Familiar that it could happen to almost any one of us, but a surprise nonetheless. What do you want the people's takeaway to be as it pertains to the ending?
Hmm.
Mhm.
Um, I know that it was really hard to watch. Um, and it was sort of maybe a mixture of sadness. I know people experience a lot of sadness and grief at the end of the film, and I think that's okay. I think, grieving is great. I think that maybe taking away the reality of our existence as Black women,
Yeah.
maybe thinking a little bit more deeply about that, thinking a little bit more statistically about that. Um, you know, I could always say like, check on your friends, which is always true. But I think, there's something about really taking the time to evaluate the truth of our experiences as Black women in America. Yeah.
Most definitely.
Right. So, Ashley, in addition to this film, you are a director and have produced several short films. Anything you're working on that you can talk about right now?
Yeah.
And congratulations on that.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm working on my next short film. It's really exciting. It's all about friendship and vulnerability.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Hey, why
uh,
not?
yeah, I mean, it's really, I think as a filmmaker, the stories that I tend to engage or write are really connected to like my current life experiences and what I've sort of been going through, or sorting through. And yeah, so I'm very excited about it. It's about three women who have been friends for 20 years. Um, that's kind of what I can say about it.
Okay.
Well, we look forward to it. Okay,
Yes.
Thank
friendship is
you.
always
Thank
something
you.
great to talk about.
Yeah, we like booked and busy. So that, yeah. Good job on that.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, it's great. It's
Yeah.
great. I'm really excited. I have such an incredible team. A lot of our department heads are women,
Oh,
a lot of
great.
women of color. Our three actresses are all Black women. It's exciting. Yeah, we're like
Yeah.
very
Love
close
when
to
we
going into
show up.
production.
Yes. Love when we
Yeah,
show up. Yes.
yeah, exactly. So I'm excited.
Ashley, what's the first word that comes to your mind when you hear the name Tyler Perry?
Ooh.
I was gonna say Black. Black. I love being Black, and I think that's what comes to mind is just like Black people, Black culture, like all of our particularities, the things that make us so amazing and so glorious and glamorous and lively. Um, that and Tyler Perry is from Louisiana. Part of my family is from New Orleans, so I grew up going there a lot as a child, and I think that was, I don't know. My whole childhood was just like black, black, black,
Yeah.
like black, like school, church, everywhere was black, and I'm so grateful for that. And so I think I just think about that. Like I think about the first time I saw his plays, and it was just like a reflection of black culture. Um, Everyone has an opinion, but black culture is so multifaceted. It's like a rainbow.
Yeah.
How exciting to see somebody's like breadth of work that is expressing and being, he's painting with all these colors.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I believe I read somewhere that for you growing up, there were different elements to your childhood playing basketball. I think there was sports in there. You played violin, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, getting into acting. So I did love reading that. And we have a little fun fact for you, or a few fun facts. And we know that you are a Bay Area native. We grew up in Oakland, California, so that's one fact.
Hey.
And then also too, we attended the same high school as one of the co-stars in the movie, Rockmond Dunbar.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah,
Yeah. Small world.
yeah, he plays what Chief Wilson in the film. So we just
Yes.
kind of share
Yes.
those tidbits with you. Like, yeah, some Bay
Oh, wow.
Area love that's kind of
Yeah.
Look at that. It's a
circulating around.
small world. Yeah, Rockman is I didn't even know he was from the Bay.
Yeah,
He's great. He's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, I met his wife at the premiere and she's just lovely. They're like a beautiful power couple.
oh, they are
Yeah.
most certainly. And then one more fun fact I'll add. I don't know how many years ago it was, but we actually featured them, him and his wife. I think
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
one of our magazine covers.
Hmm.
So yeah, they are indeed a power couple.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We know that most everyone, Ashley, as we close, has watched Straw, but for the few people that are under the rock, watch it, people. Again, it's the number one movie globally. But if you could say to our audience, what is your reason why people should just tune in, tap in to this movie
And support.
and
Yes.
support, most definitely support.
Yeah. I think it's a hard movie to watch. I get that. It can be a challenge. But I think it's important to challenge ourselves. We grow in those spaces,
We do. We
so
do.
why not?
And each time I think that we watch it, there's some other nugget or something else that we could, yeah, because
All these
I've
little
watched it more than
elements.
once. I'm like, oh, I get that now. I get that part.
Yeah,
So,
I think I even saw a video and I was like, oh, I didn't even notice that.
you know what I think? It's a good study film. It really is.
Yeah.
You just go in and you look at it. First, you look at it initially, but it's a good study film. Ashley Versher, thank you so much for speaking to the Twins in Media. We'll talk
Awesome.
soon.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.